Welcome to another live episode. I have no idea why, but the internet is not working. It was just loading, and not connecting, which is very disappointing. So, anyway, I'm going to do it without the computer, without talking to you guys, and I have a little bit planned here. So, you can see my paperwork, you can see the map. So, in today's episode is the review of the previous episode titled Catspiracy, where we have the Lyrans from the Lyra constellation. So basically, the another kind of alien life form from another planet. They had a galactic war with reptilian forces, and they were basically destroyed. And the survivors escaped to a few different systems like Lyra, Arcturus, the Pleiades, and Sirius. Specifically Sirius B, because Sirius A is associated with dogs and Sirius B is associated with cats. And maybe my cats will come here and say hi later, but we'll see how it goes. So, cats can see things that we can't see. Sometimes they're looking off in off weird directions or guarding doorways or openings. So yeah, so they can see things that we cannot see. Astral entities and ghosts, interdimensional beings, that kind of stuff. And they were seeded on Earth by off-world beings, maybe the Lyrans, maybe others. There's lots of different options. My favorite thing about this episode is the healing purrs. So the cats have the frequency between 25 and 150 hertz. And when they're near you and they're purring, they are transferring that purring, healing, vibrational energy to you. So since I learned about that while filming this episode, I've been actively aware of my cat's purrs and thanking them for healing me with their purrs. Um, and of course, this episode had the advertisement for the best online cat food delivery service in all of Taiwan, which was the sponsor of the episode. I've been buying my cat food there for at least 14 years. And Frank, the guy that wears the same shirt as me, is a good friend. And yeah, so I was happy that worked out and pretty good. Surprisingly, there are people that still or newly worship the cat headed goddess Bastet. So she was worshipped in ancient Egypt. Uh, and there are groups of modern beings that are worshiping it or her now. So one of them is called the Kemeticism. So Kemet is ancient Egypt. So Kemetism is a revivalist religion that aims to reconstruct the practices of ancient Egypt. The spirituality plus modern pagans and cat lovers all sometimes worship the cat-headed goddess. So I found that very interesting. As for the comments, I got quite a few this time. Cats are cute. At Joyce, cool video and interesting theories. And of course, cute cats. Yes, I agree. The cats in the episode were from people that watch the channel. So I have on the White Rabbit 4090, I put out a request for people to send me cat pictures that they wouldn't mind being on the internet. And so I included my cats, and then there's a few other people that sent cat pictures, including the cats being fed. That was from the Philippines. So thank you to June. All right. I got another comment from Nebular9237. And well, anyway, it just says, amazing video. Are you planning on making a video related to structures built by the Tartarians? Well, I guess he didn't look well enough at my catalog of previous episodes because, yes, I did already do the Tartaria episode titled Introduction to Tartaria. I just recently put out a short about it. So if you haven't seen it, you can learn all about the Great Wall of China not being built by the Chinese, but by the Tartarians. All right. BW6G. Nice cats. Thanks for the comment. Solan YXX commented, excellent video. Greetings from Peru. I invite you to read about legends of goblins, ghosts, and more in Peru. So thank you. I'll look into that. And then the same guy commented again, Solani XX, investigate the Nazca lines, Machu Picchu. You'll be surprised at what you find. Well, I actually did already film the Machu Picchu scene in the Inner Earth Entrances episode, which is an upcoming episode that I'm still working on. So stay tuned for that. Another comment from Jill for Jesus. Thank you. Prayers and blessings. Sorry. Thank you. Prayers and blessings. 22nd of June 2025. Thank you, Jill for Jesus. And thank you for the blessings. And then there were a few cryptic messages that I thought maybe were specifically from the star seeds. But anyway, you can make of it what you will. And if you know what they're talking about, let me know in the comments. First from Sanam Raxmanova commented, Brave Baby 98. And that's it. And another very similar commented, Raj Nabel 5X with Careful Head 39. So that has to be something that I have no idea what it's about. But anyway, thank you for the comments. Any comment is a good comment. And usually I tell in my live episodes that if you have any kind of conspiracy theory question, or if you want to just type a noun like a thing or a place, then I'll tell you a conspiracy theory about that. So if you're interested in doing that, and the live is obviously not very good today, so I will, you can send me messages on the Facebook page, the White Rabbit 4090, or you can comment on the Catspiracy episode, and I will do that for the next live. And speaking of the next live, the next episode is a pretty exciting one. It's called I don't know exactly what the title is, but it's about the mysteries of the Philippines, covering many topics, as well as the most important and the most feared, the aswang. The aswang are the most terrifying cryptid creatures in the world, way scarier than the skinwalkers in my opinion. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. That's coming up in 7 days from today on Sunday, and it covers Aswang Biringan, which is it's like a city between dimensions. Yeah. There's the Bakunawa, which is a giant sea serpent dragon, and it's most often seen in the Philippine Trench, which is the third deepest place in the world. I didn't know that until I was filming the episode. And then, interestingly, was the psychological warfare that the Americans put out against the Japanese and some rebel forces in the south of the Philippines. And then there's an enchanted river, and it's guarded by encantos and fairies and mermaids. And it's said that if you throw garbage or are disrespectful to the river or the surroundings, they will punish you and you might not survive it. So always pick up your trash and be a good person. And then after the Philippines episode, I already finished filming the Nature Conspiracies episode. So that goes over grounding. So you go barefoot or you wear leather-soled shoes like moccasins into nature, and you will be connected to the earth. There's an interesting conspiracy related to hot springs and the inner earth. And of course, the sun recharges your aura. So I just go down a trail and I stop in several spots, filming on the rocks, touching trees along the river and in the hot spring. So that's going to be a fun episode. As mentioning for a few weeks now, the Inner Earth Entrances episode is still on the way, and I plan on working on it this week to get more done. I just started filming the Atlantis episode. So we did the Mu episode, which is the predecessor of Atlantis, and now I'm doing the Atlantis episode, which is basically the successors of Mu. And then I've also written maybe 60-70% of the chakras episode. And then after that, in a few weeks, I'm going to Thailand to do a collab with another YouTuber, and I'll film it and present it to you, same like I did for the Eddie Live. At least that's the plan. All right. Now I have more cat mysteries. So I didn't mention it in my episode because there was already a lot, but cats can sense death. And there's one famous case of called Oscar the hospice cat that predicted over 50 deaths. So basically, the cat just lives in this old folks' home. And then when someone is about to die, the cat goes and curls up on his lap. Fing, Fing, be quiet. And then that's Sphinx, named after the Sphinx of Egypt. He's very noisy sometimes. Anyway, cats can predict earthquakes, sometimes by minutes and sometimes by hours. And the reason they can detect it is they're more agitated than normal and scurry around and can't relax. Let me go deal with this cat. What's wrong? Come on, hurry up. Sorry about that. Anyway, all right. So then there's the disappearing and reappearing cats. Some people say that their cats vanish only to reappear somewhere impossible to access. So maybe they're moving between dimensions. Don't know about that one. I found this one interesting, but I didn't find a lot of proof for it. It's more like a lot of mysticism and stories of the past. So feline eyes, staring into a cat's eyes can induce altered states of consciousness. That's pretty cool. All right. I'm sure a lot of you that have cats will know about the midnight zoomies when they're going zoom, 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 zoom. Cats often go wild between midnight and 3 a.m., darting around the house, pouncing on invisible objects or shadows. And this coincides with what the ancients called the witching hour. In folklore, this is when the paranormal activity is at its peak. All right. And unlike dogs, cats resist training, not because they're stupid, but because they appear to understand and choose not to obey. So those are my extra cat mysteries, and no cat came to be in the video, but that's okay. So I would say if you have any questions, let me know, but just send me those questions on the White Rabbit 4090, and we'll see how it goes. What is this making noise? Anyway, all right. So that's it for today. And as always, uncovering the truth, one conspiracy at a time. See you next week on the White Rabbit YouTube channel.